Thank you so much, David, and thank you everybody at LSI for giving us this opportunity to all get together again. I'm Dr. Debbie Lynn Teodorescu. I'm the physician and engineering founder of Surgibox, Inc. That picture that you see there, that shows Matt from UKAID with one of Surgibox's early prototype devices way back in the day. He took our operating room in a backpack system. Everything fit into that green backpack right there on the side to the right-hand corner, found a willing colleague, and established the mobile sterile field in under 90 seconds. Inflatable operating theater, as he reported later on to the Telegraph, set to revolutionize surgery. Now, everyone needs access to surgery, and I think my colleague Nadine did an amazing job at describing this. But surgery, above all, needs to be safe. These gigantic numbers reflect the deaths, the disability, and the infections that come from either lacking surgery when it's needed or unsafe surgery. The best way to prevent disruption to access to surgery, the disruptions that come from disasters or a pandemic or remoteness, is to disrupt the delivery of surgical care altogether. Bring it to the patient. I hope that the pandemic is a spark that really disrupts the way that we take for granted this old system, the exclusionary system. Of course, mobile surgery has had an important role in austere surgery, in austere settings for far longer, before the pandemic as well. The stress tests that have really highlighted the extent to which surgery is, safe surgery is limited to the majority of the population come from where care just can't wait. It's outrageous that troops injured in remote settings, people who are unfortunate enough to fall ill in areas with limited infrastructure, it's so outrageous that it's still possible to die of appendicitis in the 21st century if you just have the bad luck to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or being a mother who dies in childbirth because her baby gets stuck. Safe surgery is not, though, as Nadine was pointing out, a triad among a patient, a surgeon, and a scalpel. There's classically been a much bigger infrastructure to keep a safe environment. As reflected by the existing mobile surgery market, which today has been focused on getting operating room-esque setups in trucks, in tents, and trailers. This is a market of $4.4 billion of splits among emergency surgery, including trauma and urgent orthopedics like fracture fixation and other emergencies, maternal health, especially for surgical delivery and postpartum complication management, and less urgent, but still incredibly important things like joint replacements, cataract surgeries, hernia repairs that restore quality of life. And safe surgery also entails surgical PPE with a $3.2 billion market. When you add up both the infrastructure and the supply chain logistics in the status quo within these markets, though, mobile surgery tends to be a lot less mobile, a lot less safe, or both. At Surgibox, we have developed a solution platform that sits at the nexus of mobile surgery infrastructure and PPE, thus protecting both patients and providers. You see, we realize that there's no real magic per se to blowing clean air through an entire room and having everyone in it dressed to the nines. Matt was right in his very British way to describe classic operating rooms as theaters. What really matters, safety-wise, is a surgical site where the cutting is actually happening. And that's where the deep infections get seated when a uterus or a joint is exposed. And that's where blood and amniotic fluid splashes come from that can harm providers. So we have created a product line focused on precisely controlling the conditions at the surgical site, shielding providers, and altogether making a big problem into a tiny one. Now, among us innovative folks in the crowd today, and folks who are participating virtually, we can speak frankly about the need for disrupting an antiquated system that has excluded so much of the global population from having safe surgery. But we all know as well that the surgical field, and I speak this lovingly as a physician myself, is a relatively conservative one. Surgibox's special sauce, so to speak, is that this is an end-user co-created product from the very, very beginning, leveraging the experience of physicians and allied care team members with over a century of combined experience working in both established and austere care settings. Team Surgibox and our advisory team have thrived on critical, tough challenges, with track records of successfully implementing device and systems innovations ranging from transforming military hemorrhage control to smart operating rooms to WHO's essential and emergency surgical care initiative. We've also leveraged the technical talents from our relationship with MIT as well as Mass General, along with the expert support from such diverse stakeholders as Wellcome Trust, Doctors Without Borders, the US military, and multiple government agencies. Over 7 generations of product development, our team has optimized this Surgifield system, which literally could fit into a backpack. This fits seamlessly into existing workflows because users disinfect the surgical site as normal, drape the disposable Surgibubble system over the planned incision or around the limb, turn on the smart control module to deliver HEPA-filtered airflow in a laminar fashion over the site and inflate the Surgibubble, and put arms to the sleeves just as if they were donning a gown. Incredibly familiar, yet altogether revolutionary. And they start operating right from there. Since generation 4, the time to incision is often actually faster than standard gowning and draping for many procedures. You're still welcome to gown and drape, of course. The system plays well with the other materials around, and you can still use all of your usual monitoring and treatment equipment. But our goal is that we have a system that works for limb and torso procedures, and we're able to fit into the surgical workflows to create a safer ecosystem. I appreciate how much the folks in the mobile surgery market have striven to replicate the usual surgical environment. We aim to be the next stage in evolution in this field, as we recognize that we need to be much more flexible, cost-effective, and precise in controlling what's going into and out of the surgical site. We're thrilled to have successfully aligned stakeholders and leverage partnerships with such diverse entities as Doctors Without Borders and the US military to support development. The US Air Force especially uses an OTA mechanism to order early-stage Surgiboxes that is more classically reserved for getting rockets for NASA. But I guess this is, well, quite a blast as well. We got our latest generation system off the production line actually today, and we look forward to achieving ISO 13485 certification in the next 2 months and CE mark by the end of the year. It's an exciting time for us because from the very near start of the Surgibox journey, we have been getting regular requests from militaries and surgeons and physicians and people in general all over the world asking them, could we send them a kit like yesterday? And so we're finally getting to work on making that happen. As we work on ensuring sustainable success, we have been fortunate to be supported by like-minded entities and investors passionate about the same mission. We're intensely capital efficient, as you can tell, letting us really maximize the bang for buck of our funding to date. With trust so paramount in our field, we have also built a robust intellectual property portfolio to protect the R&D as well as the reputation of Surgibox's product pipeline. And at this point, we are open to strategic partnerships to advance our mission of developing and rapidly scaling sales of a comprehensive, safe surgical solution wherever patients may need it. Additional funding down the line would also allow us to accelerate our FDA Class II pathway, bring our technology to the US military and other American users. Ultimately, our hope is that with strategic partnership, we're able to enter the commercial stage of a boom. But let's work together all of us, to bring safe surgery to patients anytime and any place that they need it. Thank you very much.